Hi, this is Amanda from Handy DandyLion Baking. Today we'll be making butter made from heavy whipping cream. You'll need a hand mixer or stand mixer for this recipe. I'll be using a hand mixer. You will need to add 2 cups heavy whipping cream to a bowl. If you're making salted butter, you will need 1/4 teaspoon of salt set aside for later to use. You can add more salt to your taste if you want, to make it a little saltier, or if you don't want salt in your recipe and you want unsalted butter, you could just leave the salt out. I like to start my mixer on low speed, and then I'll go from low speed to a medium speed to help prevent more splash at the beginning. You can use a kitchen towel, or if you're using a stand mixer, you can use a splash guard to prevent this from splashing on your countertops and everywhere. It takes about 8 to 12 minutes on a medium speed to make butter from whipping cream if you're going to use a hand mixer. Usually it happens when you're doing this, it'll be in 3 stages. So once you start whipping, as you can see, it's getting a little thicker and it'll go to a whipped cream stage. You go from a whipped cream stage to then goes to a grainy stage, and it'll continue to get grainier until it gets to the 3rd stage, and that's when the fat from the milk will separate into the butter, and you'll have the milk fat will be separate and the milk is separate. And we're going to continue to mix, and as you can see that this is getting a little thicker and we're getting ready to go into a whipped topping stage. I've kind of sped this up a little bit so that you don't have to watch the full 12 minutes because it would be such a long process of you just waiting. Your arm may get a little tired from this, so you may prefer to do a stand mixer instead. You're just going to continue to mix on medium speed. It will splash. I didn't really stop to wipe the countertops or anything like that because it's going to continue to splash until I'm done. And I had to hold on to the mixing bowl and also hold on to the mixer, so it would be a little more difficult. As you can see, the whipped topping is getting a little thicker, and we're going to continue to see that it's trying to turn into a grainier texture. My family loves this recipe, and this will be great with cornbread, homemade biscuits, on toast, on anything that you use butter on or in. It will be great for that. This does not make that much though. It does make about 1/2 cup, which is about 1 stick of butter, so this does not go very far. It does cost a little more to make this recipe than if you were to just buy the butter. Usually butter on average is around $3 to $5 for 4 sticks. This is just 1 stick of butter, and you will probably get about 2 sticks of butter for a larger container of whipping cream. As you can see, we're at the grainy texture. You're going to continue to mix, and this takes a little longer also, and it will start to slosh around a little more. And as you can see, now we have milk. You can see the milk in it, and you need to continue on even though you're seeing that this is normal and that's what you want to happen. You can see the fat separate from the milk in it and the liquid. So I'm just going to continue for a few minutes to make sure that we get all of the fat that we can out of there, so we get the butter out of it. I'm going to continue to mix. As you can see, it looks like that's about all that we're going to get. I do mix a little bit longer. I'm going to turn it off. And I try to get all that I can off of the beater so we don't lose our butter. I'm going to set that aside. Don't forget, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are a new channel, and we're very happy that you're here. We hope that you continue to watch us and maybe share with your friends. We're going to take the butter out of the milk and squeeze the milk out of it. This is a very important step, that we try to get all the milk out of this butter that we can, because we want it to last as long as we can. Typically, fresh butter like this will last only 1 to 2 weeks in the refrigerator, as opposed to other butter will last longer because it has preservatives in it. Of course, this is better for you because it doesn't have preservatives. So I prefer this butter over the other due to that. I do buy butter from the store, but occasionally I do like to make my own butter fresh. We're going to get some ice water, or you can either rinse this in a bowl of water like I'm doing, and I prefer to do this method. And you're going to keep putting the butter down in the water, and you can see the milk coming out into the water. It gets a little cloudy. You just kind of keep squeezing and rinsing. Continue to rinse, and you want this to be cold. Hot will melt it, and you need this to be cold, or as cold as you can get it. I like to do ice, so it's a little colder because my hands are warm. You don't have to use ice. Just cold tap water will do with this. You can even hold it under the tap water at your sink and just kind of rinse it really good. I just prefer this method because I can see how much of this milk is coming out of the butter. And I do more than one rinse. I'm going to set it aside on a saucer, and we're going to get another bowl of water. So I've got another bowl of water. We started out with clear water. We're going to rinse. As you can see, we're not getting like the milk coming out of it like we had before. We're just going to continue to do this and squeeze the water out until it's pretty clear. I set aside the milk that came from this, and it's buttermilk. So if you want, you could use that for like cornbread, or maybe in a recipe like a sweet bread recipe if you're making banana bread or zucchini bread. I don't like to waste it, so I would probably use it in a cornbread recipe. If you don't have any use for it, you don't want to use it, you can always just pour it out and throw it away. But I use it in recipes, so I want to continue to rinse and squeeze the water out of this. I prefer to use gloves when I'm doing all this because it is a little messy. As you can see on my counter, we still have like the milk splash on it. So when I get finished doing this, we put our butter away, we'll clean up and clean the countertops and stuff. I typically clean as I go, but today this is just a messy recipe. We're just going to clean it up when we get finished. So I have 1/4 teaspoon of salt set aside. We're going to add this in. You do not have to add salt. If you want unsalted butter, you just leave this step off. You just don't add salt. If you want more salt in it and you like more of a salty flavor, you can add more. I would go with just a little at a time. This is 1/4. I probably wouldn't go over 1/2 teaspoon because you don't want it too salty. I want to thoroughly kind of mix this up, and I like to use my hands with gloves to make sure it's thoroughly mixed so the salt's in there really good. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to try to do a bread video later, possibly sourdough bread, and this butter would be great with that. I hope you'll tune in later for that, and you can always look back if you need to with this recipe to make butter to go with your sourdough. So I like to use parchment paper to wrap this in. You can buy little wrappers, probably on Amazon or other places like home goods places that may carry stuff like that, or little butter containers. Some places may even have butter molds, so you can shape it the way that you want, or you can just put it in a tight container with a lid that's closed, or you can wrap it. And what I'm going to do is wrap it in this and then put it in a container with the lid so it'll last a little longer. I could keep it up to 2 weeks. I don't expect that this will last that long because my family will probably be eating this with biscuits or toast. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Handy DandyLion Baking. I hope you have a great day.